Hey, Profit Boss. I'm Hilary Hendershot. I'm a certified financial planner with more than 2 decades of experience. But truth be told, I started out with some pretty bad financial habits. I got really committed to financial success, rewrote my money story, and achieved financial independence along the way. Now I'm running a leading financial advisory firm for women and couples and teaching all of what I've learned here. So, what is a profit boss? A profit boss is someone ready to make the most of their money. They're eager to grow and fearless to try. Profit Boss Radio is where women who want to reach their full wealth potential tune in to learn how to be financially free. If you want the secrets of financial independence to be yours, this is the place. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello, Profit Boss. Oh my goodness, 2020 has certainly been a year. I consider myself to be quite the optimist, quite the persistent upward thinker. And finally, just a few weeks ago, I kind of threw in the towel and I joined the chorus of, wow, I just can't wait until this year is over. How are you? I hope you're doing all right. I hope you're still making money. I hope your families are well and healthy, and you're on my mind. I'm definitely ready for a fresh start. I'm sure you are. I know that COVID-19 has caused a lot of uncertainty, and the good news is that the financial markets are resilient as ever. They continue their skyward crawl. Hopefully, at my insistence, you've had a diversified, well-constructed portfolio that you've stayed committed to. And it's the great news that the markets are currently outperforming their all-time highs. And the financial news media will mention this as if it's a thing to note, as if it's a surprise. But outperforming the market's all-time highs is what the market does. That's how it goes. And it's during the times when the market underperforms or takes a dip or takes a dive that we earn our stripes, our mettle, 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 as investors. So congratulations to those of you who have hung on. Money in your investment accounts should look better than ever before. And of course, we'll have more volatility in the future at some point. But of course, this is a reminder that while markets go down, they also always come back up. And one of the best things you can do to make unmessable with your long-term financial plan is to have an investment portfolio and an investment philosophy that's built to withstand short-term market fluctuations. So that's what I do with all my wealth management clients, and it's really something I've always encouraged you, my Profit Boss Radio subscribers, to be mindful of. As we round out 2020, this will be my last podcast episode of the year. Here is a checklist of financial housekeeping items that you can take care of before year end. These are the things we're working with our clients on. These are the things I'm doing in my own personal ecosystem. And I just want to remind you that these are the end of year tasks that can be completed. First of all, refocus your goals for 2021. The way life is now is not the way it will always be. This time will come to an end, and your life, financial and otherwise, will go on. And it's important to make plans with a tailwind in mind. So really get your sights seated upward. Recognize your capital gains and losses. So if you had losses in your portfolio, hopefully back in March in a taxable account, you sold out of those stocks, you waited 31 days, you sold out of those stocks at the bottom, you bought into something else in case the market went up sharply for 30 days, and you bought back into the original portfolio on the 31st day to avoid the wash sale rule. Now you can recognize those capital losses. If you have gains this year that you can write off against those losses, kudos to you. Nothing like free capital gains, right? And then you need to rebalance your portfolio. Definitely pay attention to your marginal tax rate. You want to know what your top marginal tax rate is. That's at the state and federal level. You can ask your tax preparer what that number is. And also an important number to know is your net effective tax rate. So for every dollar of income you earn, you're paying different amounts of ordinary income tax on those dollars, but your tax preparer should be able to tell you, hey, in the end, you're paying 15% net effective tax rate or 22% or whatever that is. In California, it's probably higher. There are other states like New York where it's quite high. You want to explore ways to lower your taxable income as a business owner. All of your business expenses must be recognized by December 31st of this year at the latest, or they're not 2020 expenses. So definitely, if you're looking at purchasing courses and you have profit to recognize this year, you might want to do that. Go ahead and hire your contractors at the end of the year. You want to pay out some bills so that you can minimize your recognized income. Do that. Don't incur expenses just to not pay tax. That's silly. Don't do that. However, if you know you're going to incur it and you have profit this year, go ahead and do it. You can definitely make year-end contributions to retirement accounts. If you have a solo 401k as a business owner, December 31st is the last day to do that. If you have a Roth or traditional IRA that you contribute to, you can actually do that up until the day in 2021 when you file your tax return. So December 31st isn't the deadline for you. You can make year-end contributions to health savings accounts. By the way, HSAs are a fantastic way to increase the amount you can save tax deferred. For most of you, the most you can save in a traditional IRA is $5,500. And if you're contributing to an HSA, you can actually increase that by a non-trivial amount. And health savings account contributions can transform into implicit retirement contributions later on in life. So the HSA balances are not use it or lose it like the FSA. FSA stands for flexible savings account. So if you're contributing to an HSA and you have balances remaining at the end of the year, it's cool. You can continue to let those balances grow and compound. You can invest them in the market. And it's a pretty great deal for those of you who have a high deductible health insurance plan. You want to fund Roth Ira accounts in this year. Again, you can do that up until the day that you file your taxes in 2021, but it's great to get it done before the end of the year. You can fund those for you and your children if you want to help your kids get started, help them launch. And that said, they do need to have earned income in order to contribute to a Roth IRA, so they have to have worked in 2020. For many, many, many clients this year, we are doing and recommending Roth conversions. So if you have IRA account balances, you can consider converting to a Roth. Why is 2020 a good year? Well, if your income is up, it may not be a good year. If you have low income years, if 2020 was a low income year for you, you're likely to be in a lower tax bracket. And that's when it's beneficial to take money out of your IRA and convert it to a Roth, which means you pay minimal income tax on that money. So you have to lop off whatever it is you pay to Uncle Sam. You can contribute it to a Roth IRA, and then that grows tax-free, and you can distribute it tax-free as long as you hang on to it for 5 years and you're over age 59 and a half. It can be a pretty good deal. Definitely update your beneficiary designations. Every year I say this in November or December of the year, and every year I get an email from a happy Profit Boss listener who checks their IRA or 401k beneficiaries and discovers it's their ex. Make sure that's not you. Definitely fund 529 plans for the kids. 529 plans act like Roth IRAs. So you pay income on the contributions in the year you contribute. You get tax-free growth and tax-free distributions as long as you spend them on accredited education expenses. And those rules are pretty generous. You get an allowance from the university. So you're not going to get an apartment allowance for your kid who's in primary or high school, okay? But for example, if you're paying rent in an apartment complex, that university that your student is attending is going to publish an allowance for the average cost of living in that area. And you can actually have those payments to the apartment complex be totally tax-free. So you can take money out of the 529 and pay the apartment complex, and it's a completely tax-free distribution. It's a huge benefit. So take advantage of the 529. Also, a lot of people are afraid to overfund a 529. I am not that afraid of it. I don't think the penalty is that onerous. You end up paying ordinary income on the distributions of growth. So you've already paid ordinary income tax on the contributions. So then, the IRS is going to look at, well, what is the growth in the account? You owe ordinary income on that, and then they'll charge you a 10% penalty, frankly, bringing you back to where you already would have been if you had never contributed to the 529. Because how do you save if you don't save in a 529? You put it in an after-tax account, which means you pay ordinary income tax on the entire balance, and then you're paying capital gains on the growth as you go. So honestly, if you overfund a 529 and have to take the money out, nobody likes writing that check in the year you have to write that check. But in my opinion, it's just almost basically bringing you back to zero. So I'm not concerned about you overfunding a 529. I mean, don't do it on purpose. There's no benefit to it, but it's better to be over than underfunded. Consider making charitable donations. If I have a say in the matter, you'll contribute to the Lucille Packard Children's Hospital, which is where my daughter Harlan is being treated for leukemia. I do want to share with you that on December 5th of this year, her dad and me will go down to LPCH with Harlan, and all the doctors, the pediatric oncologists, will circle around her. And for those of you who are familiar with what happens if you make it to the end of cancer treatment, Harlan will ring the bell. So she will be considered cured of childhood leukemia. And I can't tell you how excited I am. And I'm so grateful to those of you who have been on this journey with me. Back in October or November, I don't know when I published the first episode after she got sick, but she was diagnosed. And, it's just, it's a really unique experience to have many of you be subscribers. And, I don't know you. I don't see your faces unless you sign up for a course with me. And many of you were very loving and kind and empathetic and wrote to me. Many of you have had similar experiences. Many of you have been touched by cancer. And so, this has been my journey, and it has fundamentally changed me forever. It's just been just a life-altering experience. That's a whole episode on its own. And, that's not why you listen to Profit Boss Radio, but, I'm a human, and I'm just over the moon that we got to the end of this journey with a happy outcome. So make charitable donations. Consider the Lucille Packard Children's Hospital, and you can earmark that donation for the BASS Center, which is the Center for Childhood Blood Diseases. Also, consider your estate planning. So make sure you've got your revocable living trust, your powers of attorney, including legal and medical, and your will, all drafted by an attorney. That's a standard estate planning package. They typically sell them together, those 4 things. You want to get those done, especially if you have kids. Make sure you have that done, and definitely get some term life insurance. And then, of course, conduct your regular family financial meetings. Hopefully, those of you who have kids are meeting with your families and talking about how you're making plans and funding the things that are important to you. And, just because we're in a crisis mode, if you're quarantined, if you're not sick and you're home with the kids, consider having things be as regular and normal as possible. That's it on my tips by the end of the year. That's plenty. For those of you on the email list, we'll be sending you this list this week. And then I just want to let you know that for the remainder of 2020, my team and I are heads down. We're working with our clients on these year-end planning opportunities. And we're also, of course, taking much needed time with our families to celebrate the holidays like so many of you. I know many of you, of course, listening to this show don't celebrate Christmas. I do. I always have. And we had our Christmas lights put up this week. It's today. I'm recording this on November 20th. And I thought, my neighborhood needs some cheer. So we had our Christmas lights put up, and we're the only ones. No one has, thrown any Molotov cocktails at the house. I know people get upset when things come out for Christmas early. I've never really understood that. It's like not that big of a deal to me. But I really love the lights. I'm a lights kind of person. I love the fireworks on 4th of July. So anyway, we put our lights up. You can do that too. We're actually not even accepting any new clients for the remainder of this year. But if you're interested in joining the wait list, you can just fill out the form. If you go to hilaryhendershot.com, if you fill out the contact form, you'll get a reply notification that says we've added you to the wait list, and we'll be contacting you in Q1 2021 to talk with you about what's going on in your financial life that you might consider having some planning work done on your behalf. Profit Boss Radio will resume fresh in January 2021. I just want to reiterate, we are turning back to the really exciting entrepreneurial topics that we were doing before. I was calling the show Profit Boss Radio, The Retirement Years. I am going back to talking about how business owners can maximize their wealth. If you're not a business owner, these topics can be inspiring for you too. But the point is, we're sort of rewinding to the more empowering, triumphant stories of how people can overcome money blocks and money barriers barriers and bad money histories and really create an empire of wealth in a joyful, harmonious, and values-aligned way. So I'm hoping you'll find the 2021 season of Profit Boss Radio very exciting and empowering. And in the meantime, I'm wishing you, if you celebrate Thanksgiving, a very happy Thanksgiving and a very wonderful holiday season. I do love hearing from you, so please don't hesitate to write to us at media@hilaryhendershot.com. May you be well and may you be wealthy. As we wrap things up here for today, I need to review with you the things I have to disclose as a fiduciary financial advisor offering wealth management services through my firm, Hendershot Wealth Management, LLC. You should know that the opinions I express on Profit Boss Radio are my own, and they can change. The content I provide in the show is for general education. It's not intended as specific investment advice, nor do I recommend any specific financial products. Unlike how I roll at home with my husband, I can't guarantee that my statements, opinions, or forecasts are always 100% right. Of course, I wish I could peek into that proverbial crystal ball, but so far, I haven't found it. Past performance is not indicative of future results. I talk a lot about indexes, and I want you to know you can't actually buy an index because, of course, when you take a list of companies and create a product that allows people to invest in those companies, there are fees and expenses involved that reduce returns. Remember, all investing involves risk, which, as you know, means you could lose your money. And I have to tell you that there is no guarantee that any investment plan or strategy will be successful. And that should keep my lawyers happy. Have a great day.